Hello, this is George Harker. Join me as I go off to Kalaupapa National Historic Park to observe monk seals. One in a series of 9 documenting the life history of the Hawaiian monk seal, days 1 through 6. The central element is mom teaching the pup to find solid food from day 1. When weaned, the pup is quite proficient at finding its own food. Fair use notice. The following may contain copyrighted materials made available to advance understanding. It is believed that this constitutes a fair use of any such copyrighted material as provided for in Section 107 of the U.S. copyright laws. Kalaupapa is where at least 4 of the Maui seals go over to have their pups. RQ-21 is with her pup on Iliope Beach, shown here. RY-30 and RV-06 are with their pups on Papaloa Beach. This view is from the top of the trailhead, and you can actually see a mom and her newborn pup in the water. According to NOAA's Fisheries Office of Protected Resources, nursing occurs for about 1 month, during which time the mother fasts and remains on land. After this period, the mother abandons her pup and returns to sea. There is nothing in NOAA's Pacific Island Fisheries Office of Protected Resources statement that has any validity at all. Note and understand what is documented within this video, and you will understand why NOAA's programs do not and cannot assist the monk seal. On the contrary, NOAA's actions are the cause of an accelerated decline. For those with eyes to see and ears to hear, part of a continuum of mother monk seal teaching pup to find solid food while nursing. Documenting monk seal pup learning to find solid food during specific days 1 through 6. Nursing occurs over 50 days, plus or minus. This is my first view of RY-30 and her pup. The time I took it, I didn't realize she was in it, nor that they are in the water. This view documents the birth location and also shows that mom took her pup into the water within hours after its birth. 4 hours later, and I'm on the beach, and I see mom and her pup in close proximity to the water. Note the umbilical cord on the black pup there to the left. A 70x zoom lens permits this close-up from a significant distance. This is a view of another seal in close proximity to mother and her pup. This fact is significant. The pup was born about sunrise this morning, slightly up the beach, closer to the vegetation line. Earlier in the day, the pup was introduced to the ocean and its source of food. An interesting view of mom starting to roll over on her pup. You can see the flippers up there as the pup is distressed. Apparently manages to get out of the way. These views are 10 to 15 minutes later, but show the mom is still in the same position with the pup, adjacent to the water. No apparent activity. A different view angle. A view of the pup snoozing after lunch. This view is approximately 2 hours later, about 4 in the afternoon of the first day, and mom and pup are just sacked out, no sign of any activity. It's about 9 o'clock on day 2, and mom and pup are in the same positions where they probably spent the night. No question, pup is hooked up and nursing and having breakfast. couple hours later, Mom and Pup are observed on the beach. Drag marks suggest the pup has had its foraging instructions for the day. Nearly 6 hours later, and Mom and Pup appear to be on the same relative spot on the beach as they were in the previous clip. Drag marks on the side of Mom suggest the pup has worked down looking for milk. It's about 8 o'clock on the third day, and Mom and Pup are in the water and interacting with an Hawaiian family. Remember, according to NOAA, Mom stays on the beach and nurses for 30 days and does not go in the water during that time. I observed Mother give the pup instruction for some time. It is about 3.5 hours later, and Mom is still in the water. And the pup's around here somewhere, I think on the other side. There she is. It appears to me the pup is implementing its mother's instruction on foraging. Note what the pup is doing. First it's in its mother's face, then it looks to be poking around in the sand adjacent to the mother. Look where the pup is, down at the other end, checking around in the sand, still looking. The pup is poking around in the very environment where it will find food to sustain itself the rest of its life. It's 4 hours later than the previous clip, and it looks like Mom with Pup is returning to the water. Mom and Pup have stalled on the water's edge and appeared to be taking a nap. It is about an hour since the previous clip. It's late afternoon, and Mom and Pup clearly are hauled out and dried off on the beach. Mom and Pup appear to be in snooze mode, and they're not working on food collection at this time. It's a little after 7 in the morning, and I'm walking down the beach looking for seals, and lo and behold, I see a couple. It's RV06 and her 30-day-old pup in the foreground. They are probably in the positions where they overnighted. Looks like Mom's still sleeping in. Pup's been up for a while. But the interesting thing is what's over behind Mom on the right. Up above her, you can see RY30 and the pup heading into the water. Here's a close-up view. The previous day, the pup was in the shallow and didn't venture very far into the water. Looks like today is going to be different. Mom continues to move along, and it looks like one bewildered pup is trying to stay with her. Doing a pretty good job. Uh-oh, something happened. The pup bolted, headed toward shore. It's come back, circling around in front of its mom. If I was there, I would think the pup's saying, "I don't want any more of this." Mom doesn't press it, and she heads back toward shore with the pup in tow. Meanwhile, RV06 and her pup appear to be heading down toward the ocean. Doesn't take long, and Mom and pup head into the surf. Meanwhile, RY30 seems to be comforting her pup. There's not going to be any deep water swimming this morning. Maybe later today, or maybe the next day, but not now. Look at this pup. Look how at home it is in the water. Laying there next to its mom. Occasionally flipping over and looking into the water, see what's there in the sand. Here we see the pup circumnavigating Mom, checking out the substrate as it goes around, implementing Mom's directions for finding food. An hour later, and Mom and pup are still in the water, same place we saw them earlier. Note what the pup is doing. It's not snoozing like its mother. It's actively looking around for things. It's obvious. If a pup's going to survive, it has to find its own solid food in the ocean where it abides. Imagine how this pup would be faring if it was up on the beach searching for solid food in the sand. The pup is happy. It doesn't have to depend on finding solid food. It can always turn to Mom and get a little drink and be happy. 2 hours later, about 10:30, Mom and Pop are up on the beach having a snooze. It's quite touching to see how Mom keeps track of the little one by placing her flipper on the pup. It's 5 hours later than the previous clip, and Mom and Pup are still snoozing, approximately the same position on the side of the ocean. Apparently Mom has had enough beach time and has decided to return to the ocean with Pup in tow. Perhaps Mom's not going back in the ocean and just needs to stick her nose in it. In any event, it's the last I'll see her today. Early morning on the 5th day, we find Mom and Pup very close to where they spent the night. A half hour later, and it looks like Mom is starting to stir. It's 7 o'clock in the morning on the 5th day, and Mom's on a mission. She's heading toward the water. It's 7 in the morning, and Mom heads to the water with Pup in tow, just like the previous day. Mom appears to be offering breakfast. We will see. Offering breakfast is how Mom induces a pup to come into the water and learn to swim. It is a very useful technique, and I've seen Mom use it many, many times in the preparation of this series. Mother heads into deeper water, and the swimming lesson continues. Pup has had enough and bolts and heads for shore. Pup changes its mind and begins looking for its mom. Pup finds mom and reunites. Pup reconnects with mom, and mom heads for shore. It's only 10 minutes since this clip began, but in that 10 minutes, a lot has happened. Two hours later than their swimming lesson, Mom and Pup are still hanging out in the water. The pup is clearly manifesting the fundamentals of foraging, moving about mom and looking in the sand substrate for food. Keep in mind that according to NOAA scientists, this pup should be sitting up the beach, nursing from its mother on the sand. The reality is the pup is manifesting behavior learned from its mother shortly after birth. A little while later in the same sequence, and look where the pup is. It's off to the side, out in front of its mom, looking in the sand, looking for something. It looks like it's getting tired of trying this. Well, maybe not. Keeps looking around. Keeps looking. Swims off farther. Look at that. Check it out. If there is something to be found here, this pup is going to find it. Remember, this pup is 5 days old and appears to be looking for solid food. What was that reaction? Did it find something? The pup is making all the right moves that would be associated with foraging. Nothing like a little liquid refreshment to sustain oneself while foraging for solid food. Mom appears to be rolling over and getting ready to accommodate the request. But where is that silly rascal pup? Did it swim off to do some more foraging? It notices that Mom is in a nursing position and decides to scurry back over and get that drink after all. Pup communicates to Mom that he's on his way and he'll be there momentarily. And there he is, looking for some liquid refreshment. Meanwhile, RV06 and her 31-day-old pup are working on their swimming as well. Perhaps a more correct statement that these two seals are relaxing and snoozing in the water. They don't appear to be doing much swimming as far as I can tell. RY30 and pup have been in the water for a good 3 hours. Looks like Mom has decided it's time to get out and dry out or something. RV06 is having similar thoughts and is laying on the edge of the beach. This view is 3 hours later than the previous clip, and it appears that Mother has been in the water and is just coming out. RV06 and her pup are clearly hauled out and snoozing on the beach. Further down, RY30 and her pup are clambering up the beach. Another view of RV06 totally hauled out with her 31-day-old pup on the beach and snoozing. Another view of RY30 and pup taking a break on the beach. It's 5 hours later than the previous midday clip, and Mom and Pup are chilling out on the beach. Mother Seal has decided to have a sand facial and is busy applying that material to her face. Note the drag marks. You can see how Mom is hauled up on the beach from her previous position down by the water. It's early evening, and Mom and Pup are on the beach, where they'll probably spend the night. It's sunrise on day 6, and we find RY30 and her 6-day-old pup on the beach, exactly where we left them the previous evening. It's 6:30 in the morning of day 6, and our sleeping seals are starting to stir. Six-day-old pup is ready to go to the water, but Mom is not and voices her opinion. Pup gets the message and returns to be by its mother's side. It's a half hour later and Mom should be in the water, but she's had to climb over a lot of rocks because the tide is out. Two hours later than the previous video, and Mom and Pop are ensconced in the water. Check out what this pup is up to, swimming around behind Mom, over the flippers, looking around, getting off away from Mom, looking in the sandy bottom. Just 6 days old and this pup is on its way to getting it figured out. What I really find amusing is that we have paid NOAA's personnel millions of dollars over the last few years to tell us about the monk seal and what it eats. Indeed, papers have been published describing in detail that seals eat crustaceans, fish, eel, and all sorts of things that live in the tide pools. Only one problem. They fail to note that both Mom and Pop are on this diet while nursing. Check it out, we are seeing this pup manifesting classic feeding shots. Flippers up, head down. Pup is learning how to find its own food. Late afternoon, some 7 hours from the previous video, and Mom and Pop are on the beach, probably where they'll spend the night. An hour later, and Mom and Pop look like they're tucked in for the night. Sunset on the 6th day concludes our observations of monk seals in this video. Summary and significance of the video. This video documents that monk seals take their pup to the water within hours of birth, and from that time forward, Mom begins teaching the pup how to find solid food. This series documents the progress of the pup learning and mastering the basic techniques crucial to the survival of the individual and ultimately the species. When weaned from nursing about 50 days out, the pup is quite proficient at finding its own food. Significance of documented findings. It is clear that NOAA does not understand what is going on. Their presumption is that the seal pup learns everything through its inherent capabilities. Actions by NOAA are actually interrupting the very effective training program developed by the monk seals over millions of years. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Specific divisions: National Marine Fisheries Service, Pacific Islands Regional Office, Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center. Operators of the Hawaiian Monk Seal Research Programs, 2014. Specific examples of NOAA's Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center created problems. Understand that Pacific Island Fisheries reintroduced the monk seal back to the main Hawaiian Islands in 1994, and you will be better able to grasp the level of deceit and deception with current programs. The most destructive program is helping seal moms and their pups in the northern Hawaiian Islands during the pupping period. Programs such as supplemental feeding, translocation, handling pups for any reason directly undercut mother seals' instructions for survival. A most egregious allegation. A word about human interaction with monk seals. Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center portrays any interaction with a monk seal as affecting its wild nature and should be avoided at all costs. Monk seals, like dolphins and whales, are known to communicate with sound and telepathically with humans. For more information on this topic, search "communicating with monk seals, whales, and dolphins" on the internet. It will be further explored in subsequent videos. Seal protection zones, SPZs, are often staked out around seals to protect them from encounters with curious and loving public. Looking at the seals of Kalapapa, we find seals are more apt to return to a different area than the one they previously occupied. Note that on any day the seals are in and out of the water numerous times. As a practical matter, where is a SPZ to be located? The use of SPZs is another hazing technique which is uncalled for. Bleach marking is another hazing technique used to encourage seals to go elsewhere. Touted as aiding identification, it is not necessary. Seals shed their skin annually, and depending on a transient mark for identification makes no sense. Bleach marks are often unreadable. Bottom line is that they deface the natural beauty of the animal, spoiling the once-in-a-lifetime photo opportunity for many. Bleach adds a scent that sharks associate with monk seal as prey. Hazing seals to change their basic behavior toward humans as part of NOAA's program to assist the monk seal survival speaks most clearly to how flawed NOAA's programs are. It is totally contrary to the basic concepts of the Endangered Species Protection Act. And looking at other NOAA seal protection programs, I have not seen anything like this. KP2 is an example of deceit and deception of NOAA's Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center. Facts: not abandoned as stated by Pacific Island Fisheries, but rather taken from mother at about 1 day old. Kept from water for 20 days, which is probable cause of cornea edema and going blind. Released after 8 months of captivity. Loses 50 pounds from release date to recapture. Clearly unable to adequately feed self, although capable of catching some fish. Held in solitary confinement in Waikiki Aquarium as example of successful intervention of NOAA program. A survival rate of 20% to reproductive age is quite fine. Do the math, the population will grow very nicely. NOAA's Pacific Island Fisheries asserts this is not satisfactory to offset 4% decline annually. They do not understand they are responsible for this accelerated decline because many of their programs interfere with mother seals training on finding solid food. Pups are trained by their mother to find food in the substrate of the ocean floor. They are quite proficient at this when weaned. About $30 million allocated for monk seal harassment in the last 6 years. You have permission to download and distribute this video through any venue, commercial or non-commercial, under the condition that you do not alter the content in any way. Translations are fine. Special thanks: Eric K. Brown, marine ecologist, Kalapapa National Historical Park; Julie Lopez, Friends of Monk Seals, Molokai; James K. Welsh, PC, Attorney at Law, Eugene, Oregon. Until next time, peace be with you.